Homeschooling has been controversial in the United States, but not nearly as much as in Sweden, where it is actually against the law, except with certain exceptions. And Swedish families find themselves heavily fined if they try to school their children at home. Watch this.
This is one of the escape routes for homeschoolers from Sweden. By ship, 2 hours across the icy Baltic Sea to the Åland Islands, a part of Finland where the locals speak Swedish and where parents can homeschool in freedom. Sweden's homeschool movement has been crushed by a state apparatus that wants children as young as 1 year old in daycare.
The Swedish government believes that the state takes better care of children than parents.
Jonas Himmelstrand is the president of the Swedish Homeschool Association.
I mean, they're slowly going to more of a police state where, children are being more controlled. They have to be in school.
And after the Himmelstrands were threatened with tens of thousands of dollars worth of fines for homeschooling, the family slipped quietly out of Sweden and is beginning a new life in Finland.
And we had many friends telling us, please get out, we are worried for you.
Homeschoolers Magnus and Kina Wallin Henriksson worked in the music industry in Stockholm before fleeing to Finland.
We were afraid to stay. Our children were in danger and our family were in danger.
The choice was quite easy, really, to make.
Most Swedish homeschoolers are not doing it for religious reasons, but because they see the educational and social development homeschooling provides their children.
We noticed that our children is enjoying the way they learn. We can see that our children develop very fast and good, both emotionally and social and intellectual.
Before 2010, it was possible to homeschool in Sweden, but the government changed its education law to ban it in almost all cases. It also forced private schools to teach the state curriculum. Swedish human rights lawyer Ruby Harold Claesson calls what's happening in Sweden a parental inquisition.
Apparently there are many such cases, and in Europe, the Alliance Defending Freedom has taken this Sweden to the European Court of Human Rights to protest, on behalf of some of these parents, to protest that Swedish law as a violation of human rights. Roger Kiska joins us from Vienna, Austria, all that way, and I appreciate his time tonight. Specializing in European law, he is Senior Legal Counsel with the Alliance Defending Freedom. Mr. Kiska, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on.
You have brought this case to the European Court of Human Rights. What do you hope will happen?
Well, we hope that the court will recognize, as international law is clear, that parents, first and foremost, are the ones who are to provide an education with their child. They're the ones who know their children the best, and they're the ones who love their children the most. So this notion that that the duty of the parents is only to give birth to a child is absolutely false. And we're confident that that is what the European Court of Human Rights will hold.
Now, the Swedish law does provide for what they call, quote, exceptional circumstances under which parents can homeschool their children, but it doesn't seem like they want to apply that exception very broadly.
They don't want to apply it at all, in fact. This is not the first case. We have another case in Sweden where they've taken the child away. Dominic Johansson, when he was 7 years old, he also fit the bill for being exempt to homeschool. In this particular case, the daughter of the Himmelstrands had autism. She suffered in a school environment psychologically and severely, yet she was developing very well in the homeschooling environment. So she fit to a T the Swedish law, and despite that, this family was fined $25,000 US dollars simply for wanting to do what was best in her interest, which was being educated at home.
Now, the Swedish system, backing up a moment here, Mr. Kiska, the Swedish system, as I understand it, takes these children in pretty young, too, don't they?
They take them in incredibly young, and they want to make it younger and younger and younger. They want to make preschool mandatory. They really want to usurp the role of parents. And international law, European law, is so crystal clear on this subject, which is why we feel that the European Court is the ideal venue for this.
What does the European law say with regard to the parental rights here?
It says that the state must respect the right of parents to raise their children according to their own philosophical and religious beliefs. And philosophical beliefs includes educational beliefs. And then you have the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which is a UN document, which also says that parents are the primary educators of their children. So it couldn't be more clear. This is really just a matter of the state wanting to usurp parental rights.
Now, the European Court you're talking about, the European Court of Human Rights, familiarize us with that. We're not familiar with it. What happens there in terms of the way this case is then taken up?
Well, the European Court of Human Rights is the court for 47 European nations, the Council of Europe states, and they police what's called the European Convention of Human Rights, which has that language I just quoted. So the case was filed with Strasbourg, the Strasbourg-based court. Then Sweden will be notified of the case and will be asked several questions regarding the legality of their actions, and will proceed from there with written briefs and damages claims.
Before we came on, Mr. Kiska, we showed a little video of a family that actually had fled Sweden to an island between Sweden and Finland in which the inhabitants speak Swedish, so they felt at home there. They were also under Finnish law, so they weren't. They felt that they were safe and they could in fact go ahead and homeschool their children. I take it that even in Scandinavian countries, there's a division of opinion about this.
Oh, absolutely. Homeschooling is very welcomed in Finland. There's a division of opinion on this throughout Europe, despite how clear the international law is. These aren't the only, the Himmelsrens are certainly not the only family. The reason they speak Swedish on this island is because so many families have had to flee, and we've seen this with other homeschooling cases. The Romaiki family, which has become quite a popular case in the United States, where German homeschoolers had to flee and seek refugee status in the United States simply to practice something that's so normal in most of the world. In Canada, U.S., UK, even Russia, homeschooling is normalized activity.